I mean, you often hear people say, keep it simple, don't overcomplicate things, simple works best. So my question is, did you notice amongst any of the traders you've spoken with and who were doing extremely well in the scheme of things, that for the most part, they do have a very simple approach, or is there an aspect of complexity to their success?
I've seen both. That's a type of trait or factor that doesn't really, there is no proper one for this. Is a successful traders use simpler approaches, successful traders use complicated, but I've seen both. Again, going to something like Thorp, his approaches were highly quantitative, highly complex, and it was their complexity, I believe, that not just the complexity for the sake of complexity, but complexity that was necessary. So let me say that again: complexity that was necessary to tease out the edge that he found. Or people like D. Shaw, again, extremely complex approach. I mean, you're talking about trading virtually every market in the world, all sorts of derivatives, outright markets, all sorts of options, thousands and thousands of instruments, trading them all against each other with scores of models, with teams of hundreds of PhDs. Yeah, I mean, you really can't get much more complicated. And it's the complexity. He's teasing out small. He's not actually actively participating anymore. He went off to pursue other endeavors, particularly computational biochemistry. But he designed this whole process, and he was basically finding a lot of very, very small edges, or that's what the approach does. And it would not succeed without complexity. So you have that as clear. You have those examples for clear situations where you couldn't really be successful without that necessary complexity. On the other hand, you have other traders who are not doing anything much more complicated than reading charts, but are particularly good at it, and use risk management and basically combine chart pattern recognition with risk management. Doesn't require a PhD. It does require skill to be able to tell which patterns are more likely to result in a move one way or the other, and it does require the skill to use the appropriate risk management. But having those two properties, it can then be executed without really any great complexity. So I think it ranges across the board.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess that just sort of comes back again and highlights your point about finding a trading method that that meshes with your personality.